And welcome back to Oakley Hour. Today we're continuing our time-old alley build. This is the glass cabinet that we did last time. Unfortunately, the sound did not record on this video, so I'm going to do a voiceover. So I'm sure I'll make some mistakes because we know how this goes. We will get on, and I'm hoping to finish it. So this is talking about the fact that I don't have the brown corrugated. I think I explained that on the last step anyway on this. So I will be using the spaces on the grey one and using it that way. We are now going to make the refrigerator, going to join those two pieces of wood together with wood glue and then wrap them up in the paper. And the TV we are going to cut out from the corrugated and are going to use the grey. And the window there we have to cut out from the plastic, and that's going to be like the top of the freezer section. So let me get the grey paper and I will show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use it on the blank area. Maybe it even might be in shot, you never know. Just about. If you stretch your neck, you might just be able to see it. There we go. I'm going to cut that out to roughly the same size and then trim it in afterwards, and there we are. Plonk it down. Look at that magic. It does need trimming in, but that's the best I could do without having the brown. It doesn't really matter anyway. So the beacon is coming out very globule to here. It's coming to the end still. It's still the same one, but I'm gonna get this on here and wrap it up and put the refrigerator sticker, which isn't a sticker, paper on there. But I realised I haven't actually cut out the paper, so let's go do that. So now I've done that, the beacon's been sitting there a while, so it should be fine. Gonna wrap it around like so, and then drop in the top as well, and then put the wood with the plastic over. Probably talking that I got it all over the paper or something. Not even sure what I'm talking about there, but it looked fascinating. I'm sure it was great. And putting some more beacon on, which is still very globbified. And popping that top down maybe, or trying to sort it out, one or the other. There we go. And then we're going to put the wooden piece on top with the plastic on it, so it looks like a freezer top. And need to cut that out too. And hey presto, it is done. Gonna turn it around and put some wood glue on it by the looks of it. Not sure why I'm using so much here, and I'm sure I'm going to rectify that because otherwise it's going to go all on the plastic. No, yes, I do. Okay. Otherwise it would have made a terrible mess. It would have been a mistake and a maker. Going to clean up the top of the fridge there and just put a few dollops in the corners. Much more sensible. Should have done that in the first place. Pop that in there. And then we're going to need to cut the tail. Looks alright, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that looks okay. It looks better than it would have done. And now we're going to cut out the TV so it fits that back in. It is also meant to have a corrugated shelf underneath it, by the way. Okay, moving on. We are making some umbrellas. So what they suggest is you basically fold them, and I'm just showing you what I'm doing on one of them. I'm just going to fold it, and then in the middle we're going to pop a bit of glue and put a piece of black wire. I think it's a thicker wire, there's two we have, into it, and just also turn it with the I can't think what they're called. It's not pliers, the things that round things, can't think of the name, anyway, them. So we're going to do that, and I'm just folding it now to let you know what to do with it and getting it in shape. And by the way, when these hang up, they don't look anything like umbrellas, but they just, and they don't on theirs either, but we know that they're umbrellas. That's the important thing. And put glue in the middle. Got to cut the wire first, sorry, jumping ahead of my screen. And then I'm going to curl them with those tools that I can't remember the name of. It's going to come to me later, I'm sure. I probably even had it up when I was doing this video before I realised I didn't have sound. Probably even had the word. But now it's gone away. And now I've got 2 of them. One for each, because the other one, it looks like both are patterned in the book, but we just have a plain, like, dark brown one. I'm going to curl it with them. What are they called, guys? Give me the name. I can't remember. Like I said, I probably did have it. And I'm actually going to balance that with a clip. I even show you. Well, there you go. I was going to explain it. Don't need to. And they are both going to dry and set. And then we are moving on. We are going to make a telephone. And we are also making a sign, which we need the black wire for. I think it's a thinner wire. So those are the 2 things which are in this pot to do. Cut that out ready and put 2 of those on, 1 on each, just on the straight edge, to be honest with you. Use some tacky and pop those on. It seems to work quite well, tacky, really. And generally it clears up quite well, unless you do what I did yesterday and use it on glass. Don't use it on glass. It makes just as much mess as the super glue, unless you only do it in tiny places. I'm trying to separate those to put them on, but they want to attach. There we go. Try and get it precise. Yeah, sure. And then we are going to stick this together, but I have a lot of trouble holding it for some reason. I keep moving things, I keep hitting the camera. I'm having a real good time at this point on doing this. It was starting to get a little frustrating. And yeah, I'm going to set that up, but my brain's not working on how I'm doing this, obviously. And I think I'm just going to pop it in there. Obviously, that's not sensible. And then, of course, it's going to attach to me. This voiceover is probably a bit more entertaining than what it was when I was doing it. Yeah, now we're trying to connect to the wrong places. It's a small thing. It's the small things that make it difficult. Hey, almost there. There we go. We got it. Yes, it's attached. We made it. It only took 5 minutes. And then I will either put the numbers on the phone, or I will put the receiver on. I can't remember what I do next, to be honest with you. It doesn't look very straight to me. Not even to me. It doesn't. Looking at this. Oh, there we go. Ping it. Ping. And then we will put on next. My puppy's growling at something. Oh, going to use tacky. Good move, I think. Oh, we're going to put the face on. We're going to put the numbers on. And I think, if I remember rightly, you have the straight line towards the bottom rather than the top. I'm probably checking right now which way around it goes. Yeah, it goes at the bottom. Can't see to hold it, obviously. Blind as a bat here. Way too much glue. Way too much glue. I should probably get some tacky or something in one of those applicator bottles like the wood glue is. Lasts forever too. Might make it work a bit better and be easier to control. Maybe I should do that. I have another bottle of tacky. Maybe I'll think about that. And now let's put the receiver on. We can do it. And at this point I'm getting more and more glue all over me. There we go. Do you think we can get it straight? Nope. Well, no. Let's take 2. Attached to me. Yeah, yeah. Okay. See the hand? Yeah. All right. Still attached to me. Ah, magic. It's off. All right. And then we are going to move on to the next stage, and it looks, oh yes, we're going to make hula hoops. So this is fun. It's not terrible. I would be giving you the measurements of it to do, but you're going to get the principle. I think it's like 3 centimeters or something. So what we're going to be doing is cutting the little pieces of rope and then wrapping the silver wire around it, which is how many? 10 centimeters. Okay, 10 centimeters each one, so you need 3, and you wrap it around and around the string, which are different colors, and then join them so that they make a loop, and then glue them together and cut the wire. That's what you're going to do. Anyway, I try it the first time and it looks terrible, so I undo it. There you go. I've cut the string now, and I'm going to make a start, and I make it really wide, these gaps, and it doesn't need to be. It needs to be nice and close, not wide like that. So then I start again and I make it a lot closer, and I carry on. See, there we go. That's well, was more like it. Almost there. Yeah, kind of. But anyway, I'm not going to be happy with it. I'm going to undo it and do it again. There you go. Look at what a mess that is. There we go. Alright, and now I'm probably going to be like, yeah, I think I'm just going to do it now. And this is what you're going to do at the end, is just tie it together. Or maybe I'm just letting it go. I'm letting it go. Wow. I thought I tidied it up. Guess not. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to lose patience very soon now and pause you. There we go. And it's done. Miraculous. And it just folded over a few times. And I'm going to put the top of that, it hangs on like a wire, and I'm going to try and make sure that that's at the top. As it happens, it doesn't really work out that way, but you have to carry on watching to see that. But that's the principle. Now we're going to make a few flowers. So I realise that I'm meant to have 2 of those, I believe. I don't know if I'm realising now or what. I could be doing anything. I could be getting some paper ready. Oh, there we go. We have a sponge. I was cutting the sponge to size, which I believe is 1.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters. And we are meant to wrap it in the brown corrugated, but obviously I can't do that. So again, I am wrapping it in the grey, and I found a space for it to go around. So I'm probably cutting that right now. Oh, no, I'm getting the other one. I knew I needed to. I would have thought I would have paused for that. But I'm sure I'm talking away to you anyway. Telling you what I'm doing. Or maybe I'm just going ahead. I don't know what I'm doing, really. It could be anything. I could be cutting the little pieces up now, because I meant to do that for one of the pots. I think we're meant to pause at this point. That sounds about right. Let's do that. Okay, so that's my grey part, and I'm now going to wrap it around the green sponge and get that sorted. So that one's done. Okay, so I should be talking about adding the red to the top of this, and we are going to use some of it as well, cut up into small pieces and put onto that red bead, which I'm going to do first. Very spongy stuff, and kind of cool though. It actually ends up with quite a good effect, I think, anyway. However, I will say, if you're going to put the red things on, don't do it the way I'm doing it. I think I use, I want to say beacon, and it does not work well. So don't use beacon to do that. I think afterwards I used B7000, and I think that worked a lot better. But I will no doubt show you that. And we're also putting some red into those pots as well. So you can see what we did here. In fact, I don't show you my error, I don't think. I just show you the success. Okay, and we had a little bead which I didn't have out, and I think it implied that we'd done it previously, which I didn't have. Another one with some red in it, the little pot with the green on, and then this. So there was probably, I didn't video it for some reason either. So that is that. They're all that, and this red one actually looks okay. I think I used Beacon at first and I ended up having to scrape it all off, and I think I used B7000 because it looked awful. Alright, on to a clothesline. So what we have to do is we have to make a T, so we have to cut them both, and then one is slightly shorter than the others, but I mean we are talking millimeters. And then what we're meant to do is stick them together and then wrap them in silver wire. So the measurements are, for the long pieces is 3.8 centimeters, and for the long one going across 4 centimeters. And then we're going to need some fabric, and the fabric is 4.3 by 2.3 centimeters. So first of all, I started with just applying some glue to put those on. Didn't overly work out well, but it worked all right. And those black beads to the left hand side are to put the bottom in it, which was fine, kind of. So I kind of made more of a mess of this than I needed to, really. So I'm going to wait for that to dry somewhat, get this next part done, which is going to be using that for the back of those windows, so it looks kind of like screening, if you've seen it on movers and things like that, or live in the States, it's very common. You put that on the back of it so it looks like screening is done, and it looks pretty cool. You are meant to cut another piece of that out as well, but I didn't do that. But if you are cutting that one, it's 1.5 by 2.5. You could, however, also do what I did, which was just attach it first, then cut around it afterwards. So now I'm trying to use the silver wire on the corners, and I show it done. Amazing, right? And so that's done, and the clothes rail is done, and now I'm just going to put that onto the clothes rail or line and put the black beads on the bottom. All right, got a sound now. Okay, so we need to stick, this is meant to be on the grey, the sign on the back of the grey corrugated, this piece on the back here, that's going to be the roof, and we need to do these and fold them over like little books, but they're going to be then stuck onto the side of the building. So let's get and do those three, and we will be back. Okay, and it will look something like that. So I'm going to put these ones on the corrugated, actually underneath some weight. Not maybe, I kind of don't want the pattern coming out either. This is a signpost, and then we've got to have 4 little things which are going to attach to a side of a building, similar to what we did with those peanuts on the first one we did, and in fact I think with yesterday's too. Right, next pieces, we're starting to work on some brickwork. Let me bring that in and get these out the way. Alright, so these tiny pieces here you need to fold over. There is a dotted line, it's actually quite hard to see though. I need them folded over, and these are going to go on here, and then these ones are, each of them are going to be wrapped around. So let's get this going. I'm not sure we will finish this, you know, so I think it's quite a tall order. Even though we are getting through it, it's just a lot to do. But I'm sure it will look lovely when it's done. Let me get rid of this glue. It's getting very stringy. I still haven't opened the new one, so I'm working on the old one here. Let's see, it's going to go that way. So there is a specific way. So just test it and you'll work it out. Okay, no, I haven't put glue on the other one. Oops, just moved it all. Okay, right. So, weird colour that glue is. It's not normally that colour. Maybe it really is coming to the end. Finally. Been saying it forever, haven't I? It feels like I have. Okay, again, it's been folded over just, it's such a small amount. But that's what it wants it to do. And like so. So that was that. Let go of me, you beast. This is not totally lined up. Oh, I was going to say I'm not sure that I can now, but it just missed that top corner. I don't think it's anything too much to worry about. Now let's bring the glue back in for this one. Put one on each side and then we can work it out. Wow. That's getting quite the pickle, if nothing else. I'll be down for comedy awards at this rate of how many mistakes I can make or how much pickle I can get into. Okay, just make sure you got the right way and fold it over. Okay, and those are done. So that wasn't too long. Next is some walls. So we have this wall, which it's already kind of got a colour on it, but we are going to be putting this on it. And I think it folds down on each side. I can see a line here and here, so it's going to go over their edges too. Then we are going to put in our yellow window that I need to just cut around here because it was on that plastic. So I will get this on and get this cut out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've done this one. Got my number 1 because that's going to go on the top of here. Also did this one at the same time. It's just straightforward. This one too. They go on the white wood pieces, so if you have this kit, then they go on the white one. And then this one I have done. Don't cut down the sides here, they're going to go onto something else, but they will fold back, so I'm going to cut that out. Done this piece, which is not the roof, I think it's the base. Got our window ready to rock and roll, and put a picture on here. So let me get these cut out and we can see where we are from there and what time we have. Okay, so we're going to put our window in, and this is the top floor, so I'm going to put our street house number, I think it is really, also on, because I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. And get this in here. Which I don't think I particularly did well at all. Idea of going through the front was to catch any pieces, but I don't think that overly worked. Okay. Alright. And then put this number on. So it's number 1. And turn that around. And just have that above the door. Maybe somewhere in between the two, like the ceiling part in that. That will work. Okay, next we are going to put our sides on this piece. Or are we? Are we going to put this window in? We're going to put this window in first. So this window, you have these like this, and those little bags we had, you are going to turn it over and you're going to stick them on here. Let me go grab them. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have them on here with the, what side does it matter? I can't tell which way up they go with these going down on top of each other. So basically I'm going to stick them to each other on the ends, something like so, and then attach them to the piece of wood. Or in fact I could use the wood as a guide, couldn't I? Maybe do that. So let's get some beacon. Making noises. Okay, we want it going down this side for the 3, and then just one on here. Like this side's been way more popular to have these, whatever they are. So, and you want them to show obviously from the front, because this is the back of the model. So if you've got any rough edges, then this is the place to hide them. That one pinned. I'll go and retrieve in a second. They really don't want to go on there, do they? Something like that. And my finger went in the glue. Okay, and then this one here, which is good because this one said no. Doesn't want to listen. Don't know what these are meant to be either. But there again, I thought the other ones were crisps and they were nuts. So, okay, there's not enough glue on here. I can see that. So it'll be like this, and then this is going to go in this wall here. I've kind of been having them that the red line's been down. Whether that's right, wrong or indifferent, I don't know. So if I can catch it, that's what we'll do. Well, now that one came out. Oi, you have to leave it with me. Okay, finally. It almost beat me. Make sure that I have that the right way. Yeah. So then this will go in here. I mean, just, well, they don't have to be straight. So this piece, when I put this paper on the other side of here, it actually, tried to put it on the wrong way. And there is a difference between the thickness. There's a thin side and a thicker side. Yeah. Well, of course, I wanted to do the opposite way to what the paper wanted me to do. And was wondering why it wasn't lining up. Then it dawned on me. Okay. So this is the outside wall, and this is also going to have a very small windowsill here, which is going to hold the telephone. I was going to say piano, goodness knows why. The telephone, and also that one of the last plants that we made. But let's get that on first, and then we will worry about it. Anyway, we don't need it going that way, we want it on this side. So let's try that again. And I'll get that other glue off in a moment. And this is where the, like I say, telephone box will go. And also a plant. Very important to have your plants. Okay. So that's that bitting. That cannot wait now. Next we are going to take the plain one, this one, with the papered side to the outside like so, and that's going to go here. Then I'm going to get the model and we're going to stick this in to the model, because there's no reason that we don't need to. We could just do that, and then it'll keep it nice and straight while we put the rest of the things in. I still have high hopes we are going to get this done today, but I still don't really know. We're on at least half an hour, I think, at this point. At least. Right, so you kind of want the cream showing on the inside, and it goes something like so. And just make sure it's flush with the top. I'm not sure you're seeing any of that. Okay, gonna get these out the way. And I'm going to bring in the main model. And this will help strengthen it as well. So this goes down here and to the front here. It doesn't go along there. It only goes a little bit along there. We will be doing this, not really yet. Oh, good that you can see that too then. Oh. Okay. I have moved the camera and didn't realise. So this will help secure it in place, that piece of wall that we just did. Like so. Goodness. Getting irritated with my camera here. It's like everywhere I put it doesn't seem, I keep moving it. Okay, then I'm going to put this other wall in with the windowsill on the outside. So I'm just going to you'd think that the cream one would be the other way around, wouldn't you? Maybe I put the crisps and things on the wrong way. I don't know. At this stage I'm not worrying too much, as long as the windowsill's outside. But I have a feeling no, can't have done it, only goes one way. And this goes in here like so. So in reality I probably did it the hardest way possible, so wouldn't suggest you did what I did. While this is off, you want to put in this, your little TV, which is meant to be on a stand. You're going to make a line out of this, which is your hula hoops are going to go on, and you're going to stick your umbrellas to the inside of this wall. So I'm going to get it done and then I'll show you. It's going to be more of a challenge for me. Like I say, this is not the way, you know, I wouldn't recommend this way. Okay, that was probably the hardest way to have done it. So these doors move. This was probably the worst to get in, was this line. These stick on the back, and then you've got a sign which has fallen down. Working against gravity, it's going to happen. A poster here, poster there, our phone box, which looks very crooked. A plant and 2 posters here, and this may stay in. Next, before we do the roof, we are going to put in our cabinet that we made the other day. So we will glue that from the top. So let's just get some wood glue for this. Get it on the bottom and the back, and it kind of goes just in the middle of down here. Like I say, there's easier ways to do it than what I did. You do have our ice cream thing in here, and above there is the TV, none of which you can see. I'm not even sure you could see them on the main photo, to be honest with you. Then we are going to put on, well, we could put on our ceiling next. There's no particular order for the next bit, so we could do our ceiling. And then we've got a sign going to be coming off of here. I'm not sure that this sign will, this one here, will stay or not. We will see. So just get that in as far as you can. And then we're going to put our sign. I'm trying to see which way round it goes. I believe it goes this way. And that just hangs on here. somewhere in the middle, like so, give or take. I'm not sure why I did it with wood glue either, so yeah. You're right to question me, and I don't know the answer. You know what this reminds me of, especially when the next bit goes in, of one of those, you know, like the seaside shops where down by the beach, and they've got the buckets and spades, and they've got this and they got that, and things are all over the show. That's what it reminds me of. It's all hickety-pickety and crowded, and I'm surprised anyone can ever find anything. But people do. Right, now I'm using B7000, being a bit more sensible in my antics. I was being too keen because I was like, oh, I might be able to finish it today. Well, not finish it, but finish this bit. Hey, good old string there. Okay. That should stick there. It really doesn't want to, does it? You know, you'd never know that those were umbrellas from a distance. When I look at theirs on their picture, but then knowing that's what they are, but never look like it either. Right, bear with me. I'm going to go and get the next part. All right, we are putting in our glass cabinet, which just sits at the front. It doesn't attach to any walls or anything, so we just need a bit of glue at the bottom. Well, we don't want it falling over either. Hello, stop falling over now. And it is on the edge, so it is on the pavement here, not on the inside. Doesn't want to stay up there. Obviously you need to keep this clear because I'm guessing that's where they catch each other. In fact, it has it quite a bit back from there. Wish I'd done this with tacky now rather than wood glue. I can't keep it still. Right, give me a second. Okay, so they're in. So we have some skinny people working in this shop, is all I can say. I mean, this is their way in. Let's assume that they have a way around the back. Alright, so now we have our buckets that we made forever ago. Going to be going in. I'm going to just put those in with tacky, I think. Never did tidy up those red ones. Maybe I will. Let me get the other two in and we will see. So they just literally go by the wall here. So you've got the red one first, then the Pepsi one. I have mine facing that way because that's where my end of my seam went from when I decorated it, made it even. And then we put our Pepsi with it dribbling all over the show, something like so. Okay, and then let me tidy this up. Okay, let's start this. So, first piece is just put this against the wall. So the light is just underneath the roof here. So, there you go. If you were. So, what confuses me about the piece that I'm doing now is on the, I've done it exactly as they say. So on the inside of this window here, they say put the transparent sheet, which I have done. However, in the photos, it shows it's got a like curtain, but it's across the whole window, which would defeat the point of having your plastic thing there anyway, the transparent sheet, but still, it's a bit weird now. Right, got to push this in as far as you can. And there should be a gap on the side. It is a very small gap if there is one. No, whoops. Take the camera with me. I think it's kind of meant to be the other side of, like, end where this, oh, you can't see, where this line is here. But it does not. And I can't push that over anymore. We will just have to see how it all goes. Okay, next we are going to put the door on. And it opens on the left. So I get this some glue. I mean, it's looking pretty good. And there's a few weird things which aren't, gosh, hit the camera again, which don't quite line up, but it's still not bad. Okay, and then one more thing back here before we put the clothesline on, and that clothesline, before we put the wall in front, and that is the clothesline, which I had. Oh, it's gone behind. Oh, okay, it's underneath and behind, and that is going to go over like so. So I think what I'm going to do is put this wall in first, which just going to go up against the wall here, just so that we know where to put this, and then get some wood glue on the ends of the closure. And what happened to you, door? Did we say to fall in? No. Okay. And the close is literally as they walk outside. It's going to be tight. It was pretty square, it's not anymore, it looks like it's doing the splits. Oh dear. Okay, patience paid off. Then we are going to put this wall in, which is upside down right now. And it pretty much goes to the edge, so it's going to sit in front of that one from what I can tell, although you would think it would do it the other way around. It's not very clear which way it goes. I think it goes, I'm going to put it in front. So something like so. Which doesn't line up very well, does it? Okay. Anyway, I like so. And then the other wall. And it's okay to have this big space to the left because we are going to put the very important plants. You know, those ones that we make a ton of. Actually, this one hasn't been too bad, has it, really, compared to some. And this one can squeeze in there. Okay, and then we just got our plants to put on, and for me to stop playing with this so it stays where it's meant to. Okay, right, give me a second to get some of this glue off. Oh, and we have a roof to put on as well. Actually, let me put this roof on. That doesn't need wood glue. It just needs normal glue. I'll go and wash my hands again. So I'm just gonna put this up here, and that's just the grey corrugated piece, which is meant to be this way. A bit worrying that it's so close to the edge there. Let's hope there's a little bit of give. Not 100% sure how this one works, so alright, and then I'm going to go wash my hands and I'll be back. Okay, last little bits then for this side. So we have our plants, which are going to go here. So let's get those in. I'll say it's just weird about, I guess it does look, oh, of course it's the back of the board, so it does look like curtains are there or some sort of picture, but it's the back of the board. It's got pictures on the back board. Huh. Well, that explains it. Now I feel better. I'm not quite so confused. Okay, that goes in there. And then we're going to have two in front, one of which I believe we made today and one yesterday. Gosh, run out of that glue again. So I'm putting this one in. That one was today's. Here. And then, or is it both the ones today? No, it's not. And then this one, which we made, gosh, right at the beginning of doing this build, I think. One there. And that's there. Not forever ago. And then we are going to put other red one on. We're going to have two on here. Oh, you can't see that. You couldn't see any of that probably. Alright, so I put this little one here, these two here. Now we're going to put two on here. Just balancing. So one is the one we made today, which is this little red one. Hit the camera again, woman. Just balances, you know, like you do. Not dangerous for the people walking underneath at all. Balance away. And a little bit of wind comes along, won't blow the pot onto somebody's head, right? Of course not. Of course not. And then the other one which we're putting on, hit the camera again, is our little spongy one that we did. Again, not a heavy pot, so if it falls on someone's head, don't worry about velocity. It has nothing to do with anything. Okay, and that is that. Let me just see if there's anything else left to do. I do not believe there is. I think that is it, my friends. So we have now completed the left side of the street. So tomorrow we will be starting on the right side, and we'll be starting with the electrics. The good news is, I couldn't promise, but I don't think the right side's as complicated as this left side has been. But here we are. So I actually really like how these flowers came out. I think they look really cool. These ones back here. I mean, really cool. I wouldn't mind them. Let's see. Anyway, there we are. Alright, thank you very much for joining me, guys. Any comments are more than welcome. And do press like and subscribe if you want to get updated on future projects that I will have. Most of all, do take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel, guys. Bye bye now. Bye.